Hello, nice to have you here and thank you for tuning in with me. Each fortnight, I have a conversation with a special guest, and the following week, I reflect on what I learned and how it also relates to my life, and perhaps encourage you to think about it from that respect for your life. In this special solo reflection, we look at my conversation with Nicky Miklos-Woodley on healthy hustle. That chat has really stayed with me and resonated with me because, as you may know, my business is called Your Time Matters. It's been around for over 15 years because I love the name and I believe the time is one of our most precious resources. When I originally registered the business name in 2009, the business was in a different form, and the tagline was, "Do what you do best and delegate the rest to us." I was using my transferable skills to help people find a venue for a workshop, to declutter their cupboards, to find office space, to arrange a party, all those little jobs that sometimes are just so time consuming when you're trying to manage everything. Nicky and I both shared our experiences of burnout. Mine was teaching full time, raising two children with a husband who travelled a lot, and then getting hit with pneumonia and being in bed for 6 weeks. It was a real turning point for me. I had changed careers a few times. I had run a craft market, and I had gone back to teaching full time. And what I realised while I was sick in bed, that I didn't live to work. Work was something that enabled us to live, but it wasn't the whole purpose of my being. We push ourselves so hard, don't we? Because we care or we want to make a difference or a success of whatever it is. But at what cost? Listening to Nicky talk about her healthy hustle philosophy, I was nodding the entire time. She was suggesting that it's not about working less, it's about working in alignment. It's about being intentional with your choices. And that mirrors everything I teach and write about in my book. When I ask my readers to think about what matters to them, what contribution do they want to make, what do they value? We work to support the life we want to lead. And the only way to make that happen is to define what that life looks like for you. What brings you joy? What are your unique skills and attributes? And how do you want to show up in your business, your community, and your family? My podcast is based around the pillars of connection, contribution, and community, because they're the things that matter to me. And Nicky asks you in the conversation that I had to think about the same questions in relation to your life and your work. What do you value? What brings you joy? What are your skills and attributes? She writes about this in her book and talks about it on her podcast. A few takeaways I loved from our conversation was when Nicky talked about her decision triage system, asking yourself, will it help me reach my goals? Can I still keep my healthy hustle if I say yes? How powerful is that, to wait for a moment to reflect before you say yes? Her concept of soulful Sundays also rang home to me, a space with no plans, just presence. And I think we all need more of that, to switch off from our digital landscape and just to be in the moment and enjoy our time with friends and family. The reminder that even a 60-second pause in the day can shift our mindset and reduce our overwhelm. Nicky has many valuable tips in her book, and we share them in the conversation. So I don't want to go over them again. I'd rather you listened to Nicky share them with you. What I appreciated was how Nicky reinforced this truth. You get to choose how you live your life. You're allowed to say no, you're allowed to slow down, and you're allowed to build a business that fits you, not the other way around. Each year, I have a word, and my word for this year was intentional. I created a vision board for the very first time, and I suppose it blends very well with healthy hustle. For me, my intentional approach to this year and my business revolves around self-care, about continuing to create a community, about making time for fun times and family, friends, and travel, not letting business take over. So if this episode sparks something in you, I encourage you to take one small action today. Maybe it's journaling on your values. Maybe it's blocking out time for rest. Maybe it's saying no to something that doesn't align anymore. Because life is important and business is just part of it. If you didn't listen to our conversation, I recommend that you take time to do that. Be intentional, and as Nicky says so beautifully, fortune favours the brave. Thanks for listening, and I'd love to hear what resonated with you. You can reach out through LinkedIn, through my LinkedIn page, or via my YTM community, or via my website. The details are all in the show notes. Until next time, I want you to make your time matter. Bye for now.